People go to school for 20 years. A normal individual will start at 4 years old and end at 23 years of age. Although we gained valuable skills and lessons, made good friends and connections, and made a path forward for life, it is undeniable that we haven't learned much about finance. In the obligatory curriculum for young people, educators aim to incorporate a diverse range of courses. However, there is one key part of life about which students of all ages are woefully unprepared: personal finance management, sometimes known as financial literacy. School doesn't teach you much about money. Instead, they prepare you for the working life, a life where you could be an employee, self-employed, or a businessman. So, we're going to be teaching you 10 personal finance rules that you should be taught. Number 1. Shopping for your first home. Buying a home can be challenging for a first-timer. After all, there are so many steps, tasks, and requirements, and you may be anxious about making an expensive mistake. The most commonly heard statement you're probably going to hear is if you would like to shop for a home, you have to first save up 20 of the worth deposit. They usually scare you with the fact that you'll have to pay private mortgage insurance, which may dent your account. But the actual truth is, while higher mortgage payments could also be painful, saving for a house is impossible. And that is because it can solely increase drastically over the years. If you have the capacity to save the money at intervals of every 5 years, then go for it. But if it'll take longer than expected, then you might have to sit this one out first, since you're basically chasing a moving target. Number 2. How to save. Schools don't teach you how to save. Instead, they simply state the importance of saving, but don't really go in depth to it. Schools these days are lacking financial literacy. There are a lot of benefits in learning financial literacy, and one of them is that it promotes good saving habits. Just imagine if you all came out of college and started immediately saving for their future. If you don't make much money and are struggling to pay your bills, the thought of saving money may seem absurd. Why bother trying to save when you only have $5 left at the end of the month? Because everyone has to start somewhere, and if you work hard enough, your financial circumstances will eventually improve. It is worthwhile to put in the effort to save money. It provides you with peace of mind and possibilities, and the more you save, the easier it is to amass extra savings. Number 3. How to have an emergency fund. Adults' finances are naturally one of the most stressful aspects of their lives. Even the wealthiest people have had financial difficulties at some point in their lives. Debt and/or a lack of funds can make life extremely difficult for a person. It isn't merely a source of daily worry. Divorce, bad health, depression, bankruptcy are all possible outcomes of financial difficulties. Regrettably, being prepared for an emergency is not something that is taught in school. They believe that their parents will constantly look after them. It's a grim fact, but it's reality. What would you do if you were to lose your job? What would happen if you were to be involved in a car accident? Such inquiries were never raised in school. Number 4. How to budget. Budgeting is essential for managing monthly spending, preparing for life's anticipated occurrences, and being able to finance big-ticket things without falling into debt. You will not learn how to budget your money in school. Keeping track of your income and expenses does not have to be a chore. It doesn't require you to be a math genius, and it doesn't mean you can't buy the items you want. It simply implies that you'll have more control over your finances because you'll know where your money goes. Number 5. Compound interest power. One of the most common things once you step into adult life is knowing what compound interest power is. Possibly one of the most important concepts when it comes to investing is hardly taught in school. So, we're here to at least give you some basis on how it's done. This energy is manifested in investment in finance through the concept of compounding returns. Compound interest, in simple terms, means that you start earning interest on the interest you receive, thereby multiplying your money at a faster rate. The foundation behind compounding interest is the concept of the time value money, which states that the value of money changes depending upon when it is received. For example, if you start with $600 and earn 10% each year, you'll end up with $660 after a year. The procedure repeats itself until your original $500 is surpassed by the amount of interest you earned. Number 6. Credit scores usage. Getting a credit card, keeping it open, and paying it off every month is critical for a young person. This improves his or her credit score, allowing them to borrow more money from banks and lenders over time. But not many understand what a credit score is. A credit score is a number between 300 to 850 that depicts a consumer's credit worthiness. A credit score is determined by credit history, which includes the number of open accounts, overall debt levels, paycheck history, and other criteria. Credit scores are used by lenders to assess the likelihood of a borrower repaying a loan on time. Every decision you basically make requires your credit scores. Unfortunately, many people use credit cards as personal banks, spending more than they can afford. Then they forget about it, pay a lot of interest, and their credit score suffers as a result. This is why we need more financing lessons in our school. Number 7. Insurance. Have you ever thought to yourself, what is insurance? While looking at your insurance coverage or shopping for insurance, is it truly necessary? You're not the only one who feels this way. Especially students who just graduated, insurance can be a perplexing subject. What is the procedure for obtaining insurance? What are the advantages of having insurance? And how do you go about locating the greatest insurance for your needs? Insurance serves as a financial safety net for you and your family in the event of a disaster such as a fire, theft, lawsuit, or vehicle accident. You'll receive an insurance policy, which is a legal contract between you and your insurance provider when you buy insurance. When you file a claim for a loss covered by your policy, insurance pays you or a chosen recipient known as a beneficiary according to the terms of your policy. Number 8. Taxes. Whether you're a college freshman or well on your way to finishing your degree, being a college student presents special financial challenges. This means knowing what taxes are. Many students continue to ask the same questions. Why do we need to pay taxes? Taxes pay for things in the country, so they are necessary. Taxes are compulsory contributions imposed by a government agency on individuals or corporations, whether municipal, regional, or national. There are different kinds of taxes, like income tax, payroll tax, corporate tax, sales tax, and many more. There are also tons and tons of tax forms like W-2 for you to understand. Tax systems vary widely among nations, and it's important for individuals and corporations to carefully study a new local's tax laws before earning income or doing business there. This is especially true for students just adjusting into a new work life. Number 9. There are other income streams beside a 9-to-5 job. You may have been taught as a child to get a job, bunker down, and work your way up the corporate ladder until you retire. However, there are no regulations prohibiting you from adding a side venture or two to supplement your income. This will not only help you to earn more money, but it will also protect your finances in the event that one of your revenue streams fails. There are various side hustles you can incorporate into your weekly schedules to ensure you continue to make money even after you leave your major job. There are lots of side hustles to keep you and your cash account busy, whether it's becoming a Lyft carpool partner, delivering deliveries with Uber Eats and Postmates, walking dogs with Rover, or hosting guests by renting out your space on Airbnb. Number 10. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can give you choices. Many of us have heard the saying that money can't buy happiness, but that isn't exactly accurate. More money equates to a higher quality of life and the ability to attain our goals in life more quickly than those who are financially disadvantaged. You must also be grateful for everything else in your life, including families, friends, and a stable career. If you find yourself working hard day after day without seeing any results or just scraping by, you may be dealing with a money problem in addition to other personal concerns. Money, on the other hand, gives you options and choices for a better life. There's no getting around it. There's a lot about money and budgeting that isn't covered in school. Fortunately, there are lots of resources available to compensate. Start with the money lessons cited in this video and be willing to learn more. You'll be able to take charge of your finances and live the life you want.